Hello, Internet, and welcome to SonyCentric, the Outerhaven's official PlayStation podcast. I'm your host, Jason Kwasnicki. We're joined here today by the lovely Mark Sullivan.
Hello.
And, of course, the bodacious navigator, Clinton Bowman.
You know, I think y'all two got some kind of a weird-ass bromance going on. That's just me. That's just how I sees it.
What are you talking about? Yeah, exactly. What?
I just see y'all got a bromance going on. I ain't never said there ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
There's a tri-bromance going on, dude.
Nah, y'all two. Me, I'm just the brother in the back.
All right. So this week, a lot of Uncharted news. We also had a nice surprise in the form of finally getting a release date for No Man's Sky, or No Mansky, as some of us like to call it.
Mansky, Polish version.
Anyway, let's begin. So Uncharted 4 got delayed again. Now it's coming out May 10th.
What is this, like the 10th time? 11th maybe?
I think it's 3rd or 4th.
It's like 4th.
It's like the 50th time, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
pretty much.
67th time, you know.
So the date, Jason, if I remember correctly, don't mind me interrupting, it's gonna be May 10th, 2016.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna put on the chances of the over/under in chances that we are gonna get another delay before May 10th. I'm gonna set the over/under at like 40%.
I am going to go all in that this is the final date.
And I'm gonna agree with Jason on that one. I don't think they're gonna delay it again.
So Jason, you're taking the under, so percentage-wise, you're taking the under. You're taking under 40, so what percent? 0?
Yeah.
And Mark, what percentage are you going since you're taking the over?
I'll give like 5% that it'll get delayed again.
So you both were taking the taking the under. Okay.
I'm agreeing with Jason. Yeah.
All right, so y'all taking the under. Okay. So I mean, I'm not saying that there is a strong chance of this happening, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed again, man.
No, I think at this point, we're having the multiplayer stress test right now.
Right.
The reason that they gave, whether or not you buy it, the reason that they gave was they want to make sure they manufacture enough, they have enough to distribute.
Yeah, just for a bit of context. This will be the first release of an Uncharted game. It's an international release. It's not going to be as it normally is, where it comes out in America, or North America, I should say, on Tuesday, and then a few days later comes out in Europe, and so on and so forth. It's going to be all across the world. I think it's a Thursday that day. I might be wrong. So there might be some credence to what Sean Layden was saying on the blog post about manufacturing. Me personally, I think they were trying to give some breathing room because Ratchet and Clank was coming out so close to Uncharted. That's just me. The reason I don't think it would get moved back any further was because then you're getting into June territory. As we are going to talk about, No Man's Sky is coming out then. They already have a slate of things looking into the summer. So I think this is as far back as they can really go with this.
Okay.
Also, just like how many? This was only a 2-week delay. They want to get this game out. They kind of have to. Like it's been pushed back so much, so
it's been a hot minute, bro.
They got to get this game out.
Yeah, it's also at this point, it's really going to be the first, really what's the word I'm looking for? Premium Sony first-party game to come out. You know, I mean, obviously we've had first-party games come out for Sony on the PS4 already. We've had Bloodborne. We've had lest I say it.
15.
Yeah, lest I say it, The Order.
Well, to be fair, if you like, it sounds biased coming from me, but keep in mind the most premium, first party game that comes out, and it's a regular year occurrence is MLB the Show. Like it's like their game that they produce.
What exactly are you using to define premium?
In terms of
high profile. I mean, it's subjective.
High profile,
yeah,
like high profile type game, and MLB the Show is high profile, Sony at least. So because keep in mind, Sony's like literally the only company doing a legitimate baseball simulator game.
Yeah. No, I just didn't understand what you using the word premium to define.
I didn't mean anything about quality necessarily. I was more speaking, what gets the spotlight, what gets the limelight, what really has that kind of profile. I've never played MLB The Show, so...
I would say this is their first premium first-party title in a while. I wouldn't say it's the first one. Or,
yeah, it's the first in a minute, yeah.
It's been a long-ass time. That's for sure, though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so, continue, Clinton.
No. So pretty much, seeing Uncharted, which is, which is their franchise. It's their version of Mario, or their version of Mario in a sense. Sony. Where it's a recognizable character. It's a recognizable character in the Sony side of things. And they say this is the final game.
This is the final game with
Naughty Dog.
At the very least.
Yeah, so even though it is like, would you even count like Naughty Dog as a third party? I think this might be a second party game because Naughty Dog has pretty much exclusively made stuff for Sony.
Naughty Dog's first party.
Naughty Dog is owned by Sony.
Wait, Naughty Dog is owned by Sony?
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes.
The only the developer, I think you might be thinking, you might be confusing them with Insomniac.
Yeah.
No, because Naughty Dog got bought up by SCE in 2001. That's right.
Yeah, Insomniac, which does Ratchet and Clank,
and the former Spyro.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, they did what was it? Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
That game is so much fun.
Fuse.
That game is so much fun. Spyro.
So, the beta for Uncharted, Mark and I have been playing. Clinton, have you been playing at all?
No, I haven't got a chance to yet.
Did you play the original beta back when the collection came out?
No, I didn't play that either.
Man.
So, as somebody that did, Jason, has it really changed at all?
Yes, but not. So there has been some more content added to this beta. There are just more options in terms of weapons and abilities. There was another map added. There's, I believe, 3 maps right now in rotation. There's the Madagascar map, there's another urban map, and then there's that temple map.
Okay.
The biggest change, however, I've noticed is more connection issue. The original beta, I did not notice a single connection issue. Matches got, loaded up really quickly. It was a very smooth experience.
Well, that's what this is all about, though.
Yeah. No. I'm not criticizing, because this is something that happens all the time. Now, I'm not sure if Naughty Dog has dedicated servers or if this is going peer-to-peer. I don't know how the framework is working behind the scenes, but just given that there's a larger population now on this beta, you're gonna, or at least I noticed a lot more things like, it takes a little longer to load into games because they're trying to find optimal connection settings. In-game, sometimes there are hit detection issues. This is something you notice a lot in peer-to-peer games like Destiny, shooters in particular, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just because I'm looking for stuff like that more than anything. It doesn't really detract from the fun. You're not going to notice it really if you're not looking for it. So, overall, great experience.
Right.
Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble first time when I loaded it up, connecting to a game. I went into this knowing, or at least knowing to expect that, just because I know this is a stress test. It's entirely open because they want as many people playing. They want things to go wrong so that they can have them ready when the game actually comes out.
Exactly.
Right.
I've been having a lot of fun, but this is the first time I've been playing it, so.
No, definitely. I like the mechanics that they brought in.
Yeah.
There seems to be some of it inspired by the Last of Us gameplay or multiplayer. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Which it wasn't like a huge deal, but there were a lot of people who I remember getting really into that multiplayer. I wasn't personally one of them.
I was into it for a bit too. The thing that really hit with the Last of Us multiplayer was just that it was different. It was very different from anything we've ever seen before, multiplayer wise. It was basically that game, but with other people. It was very, very focused on survival. And I see the influences you're talking about. You get downed, but you're not killed. Someone can come revive you.
Right.
There's the whole you have the perk system where there's perks, support perks, help revive people, help heal people. Mysticals, I think, are a really cool addition. We saw a little bit when they first showed the the multiplayer reveal, but we never, at least I didn't get during the original beta. This is my first exposure to it. That's a really, really cool idea.
No, right, and it's just amazing how, even though it's a third-person multiplayer shooter, this multiplayer mode, and you have to kind of optimize for that, it still is able to maintain that feel of playing single-player Uncharted, which I think is an achievement.
For sure.
Okay, Clinton, you got anything to add to the Uncharted roundup we're doing here?
I don't really have much to add, to be honest. At the end of the day, it's like, at the end of the day, you're just looking at, right now, the possibility, you're just looking at the possibility that, you know, in the future, we may see more expansions to this Uncharted online stuff. For the most part, I mean, I'm looking forward to the game dropping in May. That's just how I see it.
Yeah.
Chances are the only DLC we'll get for the game are going to be multiplayer DLCs. That's all they've ever done with 2 and 3. Just loaded up with a bunch of multiplayer stuff that
golden AK-47.
Yeah,
you gotta have that golden AK-47, man.
Might not increase your ability, but
you don't want to give people in the hood a golden AK-47. I'm sorry, you just don't want to do that at all. Like, yo, Jason, you live in Queens. You should understand. You live in the hood technically, son. So it's like you live in the outskirts. Like you walk 2 blocks down from your house, so you in the middle of the hood. It's like, nah, boy. You don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, well, you know where I wish I lived? In space.
Nah, son. Fuck that. White man is nah.
Dude, I was doing a segue. It was awesome.
And I totally came in there and said, yeah.
Dude, haven't you ever seen Alien? Doesn't end well for anyone there.
Yo, Alien's an awesome movie, okay?
I love Alien.
I love Alien. It's just
I'm just saying.
Yo, like, you know what? Sigourney Weaver at the end scene when she just, brings the heat down on that alien when she's in the escape pod and she opens it up. Yo, I would bang Sigourney Weaver, okay, in that movie.
Yeah, I remember watching Species. Yo, you remember Species though? Yo, Species was the shit. Like, I loved watching them. That's the first movie. I just love watching the first movie of Species. Like, Species was dope. But speaking of aliens and species and space, yo, there's a game called No Man's Sky
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. We got a date. It's in June, man.
June 21st.
21? It's like June 21st, y'all.
Now, how much you want to bet that's going to get the kidding?
I wouldn't be surprised if it. I mean, yo, dude.
I hope not.
When was the last time? That we actually got to see that game? Like that game?
I think the thing is,
September. IGN had like a IGN First. I think it was September or sometime in fall. IGN had an IGN First feature.
I mean,
IGN,
I think that's why they avoided giving a release date. They gave a release window, but they never gave a release date. And I think why?
Yeah, but
they didn't want to
like,
do the thing that most publishers do and slap a date on something and then realize,
well, you also have to understand, the reason why most publishers slap a date on things is because their producers are like, oh yeah, we want it out by a certain date.
I understand that, but I think look at Hello Games. They're a smaller developer.
10 guys.
10 guys, and they're working on such an ambitious project. They don't want to rush them. They don't want to slap a date on it and only to have it pushed back and push the pressure on them. They want them to make the game good, and I think that's why we're getting the release date now. And I don't think it's going to get delayed. And if it does, it's not going to be a substantial one.
I mean, you're right. But listen, this is how I see it. This is how Clinton Bowman sees it, right? You know, a lot of games. I mean, I could go all the way back to like when Sonic the Hedgehog 3 came out, and the reason why it came out and it was rushed because the producers were like, "Yo, we need to get this game out on this date, on this specific day." This is why Sonic 3 was basically split into 2 different games. But this is an era where it's like, you know what? Even I don't like the practice of having to do a day one patch, or I don't have to like the practice having to add on the game later because we all bitched about that about Street Fighter.
Yeah.
But if the game is complete enough by the time frame that you wanted it, I would say just add on. Just add on to it if you have to. Just don't charge up the ass for DLC.
Yeah,
It's kind of guys.
Right. It's kind of a gray area right now because Sean Murray of Hello Games, who's kind of become the unofficial spokesperson for the team and for this game, he's been saying a lot about, how he wants to add this after the game is released. Maybe we can add like guilds and player interaction, I don't know, yada yada yada. But there hasn't been any definitive mention of, is there a DLC plan? Is there going to be paid support afterwards, or will that support come free with a purchase of the game? He's very forward with the fact that he plans on having this be a complete game, not a quote-unquote platform, something like Destiny or Street Fighter V. Can we take his word at it? I don't know. Things might have changed since Sony is now officially publishing this for both PlayStation and PC, I believe. So...
Okay, so Sony's going into the PC world now.
Well, I mean, they publish games that have come out on PC before. Obviously, they're games that are like the PS4 or PC crossovers.
Just to make it correct, Hello Games is actually self-publishing.
They are?
Yeah. The distributor for PS4 is Sony, obviously.
Okay.
The distributor for PS4.
That's my fault. I thought
That's okay.
I didn't clarify that. Okay.
I have to imagine there's some financial backing. They're just not publishing themselves. Okay. Hello Games will be self-publishing it.
My bad.
Nah, that's okay. We all make mistakes. God knows, you know.
Maybe I should bow out.
If you...
I'm gonna bow out and give Mark the hosting responsibilities for the rest of the show. He just owned my ass.
Oh no!
So come on, Mark. Let's see it. Let's see you host. Let's go.
Oh man, well, what else do you guys want to talk about with No Mansky? I mean, there's just so much.
I'm excited. I actually think I kind of want to talk just for a few minutes. Mark, you in particular are worried because you don't really get what this game is about. I'm kind of the opposite of you.
I get it now. I get it more now. By the way, Clem, I was just kidding.
I know.
Although I think you're totally wrong about those Uncharted predictions, but we can talk about that after the game comes out. I didn't understand No Man's Sky when they first showed it off, and then when they continued to talk on it. I think the next preview after that, I just didn't understand. You were flying around space, you're going to planets, and you're just cataloging, you're just exploring. I mean, I guess there are people that want to do that. I don't know that that's for me.
Right.
I just kind of don't understand. Are you building a giant space encyclopedia and discovering things, and that's all there is to the game?
But there's a lot of reasons why I say, and it kind of sucks for me to say it. This game might end up being one of the biggest failures possible.
I don't know about that.
It might. There is a possibility. I'm not trying to diss it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. There is the possibility. There definitely is the possibility.
The possibility is real that it can be an epoch failure, going forward in that sense. So, you have to understand a game with this much hype has the high possibility of being a complete and utter disappointment.
Yo, Halo killer, anybody?
Like, think Halo. Destiny ended up being a real disappointment.
At launch.
At first, yeah, at launch, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely was a mess. It definitely was a mess.
It eventually got good a year later.
It took a while, but it was still just a general mess.
It's also, I think the issue there, but I think it's relevant because it very much affects No Man's Sky, is, people setting expectations of their own with no real founding based on what developers or publishers have said about the game. Maybe publishers with marketing, but, people just saying the game is going to be this because they hope the game is this. At this point, I think it's fair to say that at least why I'm excited for this game, based on kind of the features that Sean Murray has slowly but surely been rolling out and showing off, it looks like it's just going to be a survival game in space. You're just going to have to make your way through space, bartering with aliens, collecting resources.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome to me.
Labeling it as a survival game in space, that tickles my fancy a little more.
I can dig it. I can dig it. Oh yeah, I can dig it. Oh yeah.
In particular, I think it was IGN had a video up of their gameplay, and they're on an ice planet, and their suit was breaking, and they were slowly dying from frostbite, and they had to collect a bunch of plutonium from the planet to build a better space suit and stuff. That kind of Minecraft survival type stuff. Not hardcore survival, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Alright, so is there anything more? Because I got one thing I want to jump on to, because this game actually releases in the month of March.
Okay, go for it, Clinton.
Alright, Mlb the Show 16 drops on March 29th, and we had a whole bunch of Twitch streams out of Sony San Diego, right? So there's a lot of things that's changing in MLB The Show 16. First and foremost, some of the biggest changes comes to Road to the Show for PS4, as well as gameplay in general. So on MLB The Show 16, you'll experience baseball's most epic moments like never before using Showtime. So basically, you can slow down critical moments for maximum control. So let's just say, like, you know, if you have a little trouble hitting the ball, like you can slow down and basically aim your bat to meet the ball and make contact, and you know, have a little more finer control over it. But one of my biggest things that I'm looking forward to in this one is honestly, having to go back to the main menu is a bitch and a half in MLB The Show. I'm gonna be honest with you. During Road to the Show, having to go back to the main menu. Now you can actually play an entire series of games without having to navigate to the menu between games on the PS4. And that was like, when I heard of that, I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever.
Nice.
And animation and rituals and all this fun stuff have been put in there. We got, you know, foot planting has been fixed, out of position logic has been fixed. So for those of you that are like, are you know, really into baseball and really watch the stuff, like, playing this game is actually really, really good. It's really, really good. And on top of that, you know, this game supports, you know, custom soundtracks now, because but you have to do it through a USB, so you have to plug in a USB full of your music and such. So
now, is MLB The Show, I know, like, sports games, you kind of have two categories. You have the simulators and the arcadey, like NFL Blitz type stuff. It's a sim.
A complete sim.
Okay.
A complete sim with like a fantasy stuff. Like Diamond Dynasty is like Madden Ultimate Team for this.
Okay.
But it's actually a good Madden team. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I
See,
need the different presentations. Yeah. You say again?
Oh yeah. All I was gonna say was, like, I was never very into sports games, but like I do like some of the sim aspects of, like, the football games my friends would play in college. Just like actually building a team and going through the strategy of it, and then watching that all play out was pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty much for me, like, the most of the stuff that I do for the show, I'm not gonna lie, I mostly do like Road to the Show, and that's it, because I like being able to take my person, take me into the game and play through a bunch of seasons of baseball. And the best part about it is now I don't have to worry about sitting down. Honestly, I don't have to sit down and worry about, like, beating, like, ever since they introduced year-to-year saves, bringing your save from year to year, game to game. I'm kind of glad I don't have to play throughout the year and have to rush and try to make it to the Hall of Fame every year. Now I can sit down there and take my time and just relax.
Nice. And when does this come out again?
March 29th.
Right around the corner. 4 days post Batman v Superman. Folks, you will be living in a post Batman v Superman world when MLB The Show comes out.
Fuck Batman versus Superman.
Another discussion for another podcast.
No. Listen, I'm not the biggest DC fan. I love Batman. I love the idea of Batfleck. Like, but you have to understand, like, the hype is pissing me off. Like, I never got into the hype for Avengers, and I watched it and I loved it. Like, you know, like, I everybody's hyping this up, and I'm like, I don't care. I just want to be able to watch it if I want to. That's why I don't really go to movies. I'm not a hipster, but I'm not a hipster. I just don't really like, you know, having my expectations dashed.
Well, you heard it right there, folks. Clinton Bowman telling you, keep your expectations in check. Which you should always do. Nice. We promote skepticism here. You should always be looking out for yourself and your wallet. Because you never know what them dirty publishers are going to do next. Those zany publishers.
Yeah. Capcom!
Well, folks, after that little educational brief, that's going to do it for us here at SonyCentric, the Outerhaven's official PlayStation podcast, where we talk everything and anything PlayStation. I'm your host, Jason Kwasnicki, and as always, I was joined today by Mark Sullivan and the navigator Clinton Bowman. Mark, you always miss the cue to say goodbye.
I just wait until you say goodbye, and then I say goodbye.
Peace out, Internet.
Goodbye.